Welcome back to Baselines to Sidelines. If you love baseball analysis with a little edge, a little realism, and a lot of passion, you're in the right place. We have concluded the first week of the MLB season, and there's a lot to dive into. Dodgers and Yankees look lethal as ever. The ABS system has brought a new energy to the game of baseball that I have not seen in roughly 15 years. Though to start things off, we're going to touch on the Rockies having a 2-4 start heading into their home opener against the Philadelphia Phillies. Is this a new energy in the clubhouse, a new strategy forward, or is this just false road hope that will change once the Rockies are back at Coors Field? Then we dive into the ABS system being in regular season baseball. What good has come of it? How much energy has this new system brought to the home crowd? And is this helping keep the umpires in check? Finally, I do an overall rundown of the teams across the league. Basically, it's my version of who's hot, who's not. Let's get into it. This is Baselines to Sidelines. So starting off, we dive right into the Colorado Rockies. They're 2-4 right now, heading into their home opener, starting tomorrow on Friday, April 3rd, against the Philadelphia Phillies. They're 2-4, which, to be honest, part of me did not expect that for the Colorado Rockies to be heading into a relatively decent start compared to what they have been the previous season. Obviously, we don't need to harp on that a whole hell of a lot of as far as last season, but there are callbacks that need to happen from that. Now, they did get swept by the Miami Marlins in what was absolutely a definitive competitive games. They had chances to win, they had chances to score. They just could not capitalize on it. And Colorado did look flat, especially with runners in scoring position. That was the biggest takeaway I took from that Miami series was starting pitching was pretty solid aside from one start, I would say. The bullpen was really solid. They were able to get hits, but they weren't able to drive in the runs. They weren't able to get the meaningful hits. They went, I believe, 1 for 9 a couple of times with runners in scoring position. They did not have a good series as far as hitting goes. Now, that is a bit of a pitcher's friendly park, but still, if you're going to be a team that turns the corner, you can't come up empty on that many at bats. You need to get those hits, get those runners home. They Let me find the correct words for this. The one thing I will give the Rockies credit on is the Rockies were aggressive base stealing. They are, I want to say, third in Major League Baseball right now. Last I looked, in stolen bases, and they're also top 5 as well in stolen base attempts. They kept to their word on that. Warren Schaefer was dead on with that. They were going to be aggressive on the base paths, and they have been. And it has been really nice to see. With a team that is not expected to do very well at all this season, with a team that has really not a lot to lose at this point, throw everything out the window, and they are trying to get these at bats to be meaningful at bats. They're trying to get these hits to be meaningful hits. And stealing bases is going to be a huge thing because it also takes away double plays. It really opens up the game for them. Something they did not have last year. So this is something that is going to be very interesting to see moving forward, especially at Coors Field. where it's more of a hitter's friendly ballpark. And then there are other series that I want to talk about. The Toronto series, you want to talk about meaningful at bats? They got those meaningful at bats. One game, absolutely, that 14-5 game, 14-5 game where they blitzed, or it was 14-7, my apologies. They blitzed the Toronto Blue Jays. They Now, Toronto did lose their starting pitcher. That was awful to see him go down. His name is blanking me at this point. I apologize. But that was awful to see. You never want to see a guy go down like that. I hope he is able to come back relatively quickly for Toronto. But the Rockies capitalized. They were able to take advantage of the bullpen, get out there, get those hits, get those runs in. They were they were on top of Toronto that in that game. The second game, not so much. Toronto came back and showed who they are, showed why not only are they the defending American League champs, but also why they are, outside of the Dodgers, the World Series favorites. Then the second game, when you can take a team that good. Oh, really quickly, the second game, I will also mention Max Scherzer looked like Max Scherzer of old. I mean, his stuff was just working. That changeup was filthy. His fastball was on money. He was Mad Max that day against the Rockies. That was phenomenal. Max Scherzer, one of my favorite pitchers growing up. He was one I really studied, I really emulated. His curveball, I actually use the same curveball grip that he uses. Him and Clayton Kershaw are kind of the two that I studied as far as throwing a curveball. So watching Max Scherzer absolutely dominate the Rockies, that was a treat to see from a baseball standpoint. It was an absolute treat to watch Max Scherzer just be Mad Max. And I'm really excited to watch him throughout the year, and I really hope that he continues to have as good of a year as he did with that start. Now, granted, people will say, yeah, it was the Rockies, but I mean, truly his stuff was just downright filthy. It was just awesome, utterly awesome to see. Like, it brought me back to middle school, high school, watching when he was on the Mets, just absolutely carve guys up. So that was fun to see. So I'm really, I like I said, I can't say enough about how good Max Scherzer was, and that was a lot of fun to see. Really, really fun. And then diving back into the Rockies, kind of recapping their first few games. The second game, or the third game, sorry, against Toronto, Colorado had, I mean, they had lights out across the board aside from hitting, but Toronto was also kept in check as well. Sorry, my apologies. Kyle Freeland pitched an absolute gem. 6 strikeouts, 1 run. He was friggin' Kyle Freeland 28. He damn near played like 2018 Kyle Freeland. That was just phenomenal to see. That was phenomenal. His knuckle curve against Miami was really bad, but his knuckle curve that against Toronto was really solid. His fastball was on point. His cutter was actually spinning right. Really just a good one to see. And I know he's been, for the past couple of years, he's also been fine tuning a changeup, and that looked actually relatively decent as well. his pitching arsenal has really expanded, which is something the Colorado Rockies pitching staff has been talking about and wanting to do to these pitchers, is especially the starting pitchers, is expand their arsenal. They don't want them to be these 4 to 5 pitch guys. They want them 6, 7, 8 pitches. And I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far. Tomoyuki Sagano, downright just amazing stuff. Whoo, man, his pitches were working great. Ryan Feltner was cooking until he got hurt. It sounds like his contusion, though. He has a contusion on his glute. I believe his left glute, or no, sorry, right glute. He has a contusion there. Um, he talked with the media. It sounds like he's going to be hopefully good to go for his next start, which is really awesome to see because Ryan Feltner has had a really just awful time with injuries. My wife and I were actually at the game where he took the ball off of it. He had that comebacker that hit him square in the head and fractured his skull. My wife and I were at that game. So I feel for Ryan Feltner. I'm really hopeful based off of what he said that he'll be okay for his next start. But up until he got injured, I mean, he was throwing filthy stuff too. His cutter was money. His cutter was painting the corners. I was like, I'm a pitcher, so quick backstory. For as far as myself, when I played baseball, I mostly played outfield. I played a little bit of infield, and then I did attempt pitching a little bit, but it never really worked out for me. But I've always loved pitchers. I've always loved the art of pitching. So I study mechanics. I study how the curveball comes out of somebody's hand. How does a changeup break with this pitcher versus this pitcher? So you'll hear me talk about pitchers more and more this season. Not just Rockies, but MLB in general. I'll talk about Ohtani. I'll talk about Skubal, Skeens, Freed. I you name it. I'll probably talk about them. And leave a comment as well if there's a pitcher you want me to cover, or if there's even a player, not just a pitcher, but if there's a player you want me to cover, I'll absolutely do it. I'm I do this for the love of baseball. I do this for my passion of baseball. So that's kind of a little bit of a why I'm talking about these specific pitches, just to kind of give you a little bit of a backstory. But let's get back into. I know I've kind of been a little bit all over the place, and I apologize about my voice as well. My voice has been a little rough the past 4 or 5 days, but getting back into it, the Rockies have just had a bit of a different energy coming into this season. They had it in spring training, and I was curious to see how they were going to have it coming into coming into this season. And quite frankly, I have to say it's been it's been as advertised, and I'm really really excited to see as it continues forward because especially in this month of April, I talked about it in my last episode or the episode prior. This is no slam dunk, dip your toes into the start of the season type month. This is you're playing teams that are going to be making deep playoff runs or be looking to make deep playoff runs. I mean, here I have the schedule actually right in front of me. They have the Philadelphia Phillies for their home opener And then the very next series, they have the Houston Astros. Then they go to San Diego for 4 games, have a day off, go to Houston again. They face Houston again, but this time in Houston. Then they come home for LA for 4 games, San Diego for 3 games, the Mets for 3 games, and then since they have a day off, and then Cincinnati for 3 games. That's no walk in the park baseball. I mean, even with the Mets struggles right now, you've got and even with the Phillies struggles as well, you've got playoff teams every game at this point through the month of May and even into April. Or May. April is going to be through the month of April is not going to be pretty, and then even in the month of May, it's not going to be much pretty beyond that. So I'll be very curious to see how the Rockies play against these teams. I like what I've seen so far, but it's gonna more is gonna have to come of it for them to be an actual competitive in even some of these games. Like you have San Diego, who they're gonna be vying for a wild card spot. You have Houston, who by all accounts they're looking to take that division. They're looking to take the AL West. They're looking to take the AL West, and then you have the Dodgers, which are the freaking Dodgers. Like everybody knows who they are. Everybody knows who they're gonna be. They're 98% probably gonna win the NL West. You have the Mets, who are on a bit of a slump right now, but they can turn around. They can turn things around very easily. Yeah, they don't have Pete Alonso anymore, but they still have Juan Soto. They still have dogs on their team. And then you have Cincinnati, who Cincinnati is a dark horse. Do not sleep on Ellie De La Cruz and those Cincinnati Reds. They are an absolute dark horse. Do not be surprised if they sneak up in the NL Central and are vying for a wild card spot. I don't think they're going to take the division. That Brew Crew is just way too strong. That Brew Crew, like the Brewers are just, oh man, you want to talk about fun baseball. You want to talk about good baseball. Watch the Milwaukee Brewers. I've watched a couple of their games already, and I mean, I forget who did it, but there was a player that laid a bunt down, and I mean, it fluttered right on the line. It stayed fair right on the line. I mean, you could not make a more perfect bunt even with a bunting machine. That is how perfect that bunt was. But yeah, I really think the NL Central is probably going to be the Milwaukee Brewers, but do not be surprised with the Cincinnati Reds. I will dive into them more in another episode, but they're going to be a team that's going to sneak up on some people. I really really feel good about that team. I really do. I think they're going to get hot. So, like I said, going back to this schedule, the month of April is going to be one of horror show, horror show, horror. I mean, you essentially have Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, uh, Leatherface, and Chucky all in the same month, if you want to put it that way for the horror fans out there. Like this is no joke baseball. This is put up or shut up baseball for the Rockies. if they want to prove what they are, they're really going to have to prove it in this month. But they're really going to have to prove it in this month. And yeah, I'm really excited for what is to come. I'm really excited for tomorrow. You have the Rockies home opener, opening day at Coors Field. I mean, it's there's nothing going to be better than that. I mean, there's nothing out there that is better than opening day, regardless of the ballpark. Coors Field is my favorite, but we obviously know why. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of energy. It's going to be a packed place. Probably 50,000 people are going to be there. It's going to be just amazing. If you're going to that game, have fun, be smart. Please be smart out there. You know, if you're going to drink, designated driver, especially if you do that 999 challenge. But yeah, be smart. Have a designated driver. Don't do anything stupid. Be kind to your fellow fans out there. Like that's one thing I want to like preach about is it's a family atmosphere. People bring their kids. So if you're going out there, have fun, obviously. I want everybody to have fun. Like, there is no better thing to do in the spring, summer, and early fall than going to the ballpark. Like, there's just nothing better. Sitting down, having a hot dog, watching your favorite baseball team, hanging out there. Like, there's nothing better. So just be smart when you go to Coors Field tomorrow. So, well, when this episode comes out, it'll technically be today. So, be smart out there, please. And yeah, it, I don't think I have too much else to hit on as far as the Rockies go. It's going to be interesting to see how what they've already done out on the road in Miami and in Toronto, if they can replicate that same style of play, same energy, same what they have done already on the road. Can they do it at a place like Coors Field, especially that pitching? What is this new pitching philosophy? What is this new pitching tactics? How is that going to play at altitude? Because I mean, everybody knows the ESPN article that came out about the horrors of pitching at Coors Field and all of this, but I'll be very curious to see how these teams play and or how this pitching plays out at Coors Field. So keep your eye on that. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up as far as the Rockies portion of this episode. And yeah, have fun out there. Enjoy opening weekend and let's have some fun. Let's have some good Rockies baseball. All right. The next thing I want to get into is the ABS challenge system. This new challenge system was really fun to watch down in the minor leagues when they had it all through the minor leagues the past few years, or a couple of years, I want to say. And then they introduced it into spring training. That was really a treat to watch how the tactics and how the teams were trying this out and trying to figure this out. And then regular season has come, and the ABS system is here. And my God, has it been good for baseball? My God, has it made baseball? It's given a new energy, a new life to baseball that I really haven't seen in a minute. Like I said in my intro, almost 15 years, but even then that might be slightly exaggerating, but still it's a new energy, a new life to baseball that I haven't seen in a long time. And utterly fascinated by that. I love it. I love that when the when you see the tap on the head from the catcher or the hitter mainly, like there's been a couple of pitcher challenges, but it's been very few. But it's mainly been from the pitcher and the catcher and the batter. And you see that tap on the head, you can feel the energy of the crowd as the umpire is saying, catcher has challenged the pitch being called a ball, or I forget the lingo that these guys use nowadays or how they're using it, but catcher challenges the call on the field as a ball, or you call the field a yeah, and then vice versa for the hitter. And then it pops up on the video board and you see the video of the ball coming in, and it either lights up the strike zone or it misses the strike zone, and the ball lights up green. And you hear this just roar of the crowd when it's in the home team's favor. It's something really it's really cool to see, and I can't wait to get out to a Rockies game and to really feel that energy, or just to get out to a game in general and feel that energy, feel that pulse of how the fans are reacting to to the ABS challenge system. And it has been great. I mean, the catchers are 64% right on calls. You have batters being right around, it's right around like 52%. Pitchers, it's been way less than that, but again, you have to take that with a grain of salt because you're not going to see hardly any pitchers making this call or making the calls on the field. You're really not going to see them challenging all that much. And it's been really good to see that these calls are getting called right. It's also probably driving CB Buckner specifically absolutely crazy because the past few games he's had 6 or 7 challenges. He's had even 2 or 3 challenges in a row in the at bat that were supposed to be strike 3, all ball, ball, ball. And I mean, say what you want, CB Buckner, he's not as bad as Angel Hernandez, but he's in that conversation. It's oh man, he has made some calls that it's like, CB, what are you doing, man? Like, how are you making these calls? And then he even had a play. It wasn't as far as the ABS, but he had a play where the runner was called out because he didn't touch the bag, or I forget what exactly the happened, but basically the runner was out because he didn't touch the bag, is what CB made the call on. If you look at the replay, the dude damn near steps on the middle of the bag. Like, it wasn't even close. He might as well have just stood on the bag. It was clear as day. But CB wasn't even looking at the play, but he made the call. It was just utterly ridiculous that, let's say it was Yankees made the challenge, or it wasn't the Yankees, I forget who it was. They had to waste their challenge. Or they had to challenge. They didn't lose it because they obviously got the call right. That was a quick review. And then the two managers are smirking at each other because you're like, what the hell? Is this really even happening? Like that's the CB Buckner is like he just makes fans and baseball players alike crazy. Feel crazy because he's making these asinine calls. And he's doing it with the balls and strikes, but thankfully there's the ABS system now. And you're getting a wicked roar of the crowd. I'm pretty sure he was utterly sick of hearing the crowd by the sixth pitch that got challenged on him. Like, what the hell, CB? Get the calls right. Stop being what Angel Hernandez was. And you worked with Angel Hernandez, which also partially says of what he is, but like come on. It's just it's utterly ridiculous, but I love that that these umpires are being held in check. And there's also been, outside of CB Buckner, there was a survey brought around, and a couple of umpires were interviewed after a few games with the ABS system, and they're like, we like it. Keep us in check. Like they don't mind. The true good umpires, they don't mind. So I have no problem with it. I mean, even if the umpires had a problem with it, I wouldn't have a problem with it because, quite frankly, you need to be kept. The umpires need to be kept in check. But it's just awesome to see. It's awesome to see that these calls are being made correctly, and it's it's done nothing but great stuff for the MLB. Now there is talk about fully going just ABS and not having the human umpires. I don't like that because you're taking the human element out of the game. You're taking the energy, I feel like, from, the strike three call, when the umpire motions for a strikeout. You're taking that human element, that emotion out of the game. I'm not, at least for me, I could be swayed, but for the game of baseball, I'm not quite ready for the full for the full robo umps. I'm not there yet. Talk to me in a year or two. I can maybe get behind it, but right now, I say where the ABS system is right now is awesome. It is utterly awesome. And if it ain't broke, and I'm talking to you, Rob Manfred, I'm talking to you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's leave it alone where it is. Let's leave what these umpires, let's leave the umpires making the balls and strikes, and then the players challenging if they feel it is wrong. Because there's also strategy to this at this point. So I, I think for right now, I'm not saying it's going to stay this way, but for right now, for this season, leave the ABS system, leave all of that where it is. I think you're set up, you're right in that sweet spot, and keep on rolling. You got momentum right now. Keep it moving with this ABS system and keep her steady. That's at least my 2 cents. Obviously, these owners, GMs, Rob Manfred, all those people, they're there. I'm just schlumpy down here, but I'm really interested to see the ABS system for a full season in the format it is now before we move to changing the ABS system. Give it a full season, then review it. I know you have other monkeys on the table as far as 2027 goes, but in regards to the ABS system, leave it where it is for a full season, then come back to it. That's just my 2 cents. But, alright, now let's get into what I call like I said, my version of who's hot, who's not, and where the standings are. I'm going to do this about once a week, i.e., so my weekly episodes. Maybe I'll do it like once every 2 weeks of who's hot, who's not. Right now, let's start in the American League. I mean, you've got who's hot. New York Yankees 5-1. They're lethal. They're powerful. Yeah, they had that frustrating loss against the San Francisco Giants, but beyond that, it's been all Yankees. They're looking like a powerhouse in the East. It's going to be a tooth and nail fight. I'm curious to see. I mean, they have had they've been really, really good as always with the Yankees, and I I'm really liking where the Yankees are. They have good pitching. They have they have solid pitching. They have solid hitting. They're an all around team. You have the Toronto Blue Jays, who yeah they lost 2 games to the Rockies, but they're still the Toronto Blue Jays. Kevin Gosman, actually local Colorado kid. He was a flamethrower. He had filthy stuff. He looks damn good. He's going to be one to watch. I mean, they have George Springer, Guerrero Jr. They've got hitters up and down. Their bullpen is just lights out solid. Toronto's going to be fine. I think they're going to come out with a force. You have the Orioles, who are playing good baseball. The Rays, I'm going to be straight honest with you. I have not seen a lick of Rays baseball, so I don't exactly know where they are. I don't have a temperature on them. Boston Red Sox, man, have they fallen off a bit right now. They are not the Boston Red Sox that I'm at least used to seeing. So they need to turn things around. Cleveland Guardians, they're definitely one of those hot teams right now. They're one of those they've got they're kind of playing with their hair on fire. Same with the Kansas City Royals. Yeah, they've had 3 losses. They're 500 right now. But they're going to be one to watch. Detroit Tigers. I don't know what's up with them right now. I think I heard their pitching has been a little shaky right now, but they've got to turn some things around to it's still early in the year, so I'm not counting anything, but they've got some work to do. Houston Astros, Texas Rangers, they're looking like the team out of the AL West. They're going to be they're going to be the two dogs right now, and I would not be surprised if it's going to come down to those two for the AL West. But don't sleep on the Mariners either. Right now, the Mariners are heavily struggling. But, well, heavily struggling for their standards. But don't be surprised to see the Mariners. The Mariners are going to crawl back into this. I expect Cal Raleigh to get right. Which, quick sidebar, Cal Raleigh, 60 home runs last year. One of your best hitters. Seattle fans, yes, he struck out 3, 4 times in a game, but then he seals the bottom of the ninth walk-off. And you're booing him when he comes up to the plate? I get it, he was playing poor, but he's easily your best player, one of your best players, if not the best player. Like, he's gonna be an all-star. He's gonna be in that top catcher conversation. But what the hell, Seattle? Like, Seattle fans, I love you. But really booing Cal freaking Raleigh when he's coming up to the plate in the bottom of the ninth? He is easily right now, even with his struggles, Cal Raleigh is in my top 5 of, the play. This person has to hit a home run or has to get a hit to save your life. Cal Raleigh is top 5 for me, if not top 3. So come on, Seattle. And baseball fans in general, you're booing your best player as he's coming up to the plate in the bottom of the freaking ninth? Come on, guys. Be better than that. And then the Athletics. Going back to this, the Athletics, they're on a downslide, especially with this whole psychotic moving thing of the Oakland to Sacramento and then eventually to Las Vegas. I don't know what to do with the Athletics right now. I'll also admit I need to brush up on my Athletics baseball a little bit more. Which is funny because one of my all-time favorite announcers there, Jenny Kavnar, who does the play-by-play for the Oakland Athletics, she does a phenomenal job. Like, watch athletic, like, legitimately, if you're able to watch an Athletics game and listen to her play-by-play, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, they're on a downward spiral right now. I'm gonna do a deep dive onto them one of these days and kind of get a pulse on them. I have a friend out there. I might shoot him a text, see what he has to say about them. And then the NL East, man, who had show of hands, who had the Miami? Like, leave a comment, please. Who had the Miami Marlins at 5-1? I didn't, and I was even with the hodgepodge that is the Colorado Rockies. Like who like they got some dogs right now. They got Fairbanks. Who else did they got on that team? They got Alcantara, who, man, you want to talk about a dark horse for Cy Young? He could be that. And like I said, he's like a dark horse. He's way on the outside, but there's a small chance he could sneak into that. But again, if anybody says they had the Miami Marlins at sitting at 5-1 at this point before the start of the year, or before the start of the year, if anybody said they had the Miami Marlins sitting at 5-1, they're either the Marlins man or a damn friggin' liar. I'm gonna be honest. I did not have that, and yeah, they just played the Oakland Athletics as well, but they beat the Oakland Athletics, I want to say 10-0 or 10-1. Like, they smoked the Athletics. So they're a hot team right now. They're one of those absolute hot teams. Atlanta Braves, they're good. Philadelphia Phillies, they're playing 500 ball. They're going to get right. I'm curious. I'm very curious to see how they're going to play against the Rockies. They've got some dogs. Yeah, they don't have Kyle Schwarber anymore. Actually, before I say that wrong, I I am wrong on that. Ignore me. I was thinking of somebody else who left that team, not Kyle Schwarber. But like they don't have a couple of players that they had last year, and they're gonna be one of those teams that's gonna be in the mix, if not take the division. I Start of the season I predicted them to take the division, so I would not be surprised. Right now the Mets look okay, but they're not playing Mets baseball. They've got to get a couple of things right. I would borderline call them a not hot team. They are not in that window of hot team right now. They're cold right now. And then the Washington Nationals, I'm kind of lukewarm on them. I don't know too much about their situation, so I'm gonna kind of just leave them where they are, which I honestly think is perfect for the Nationals. I think that last I heard, their hitting is pretty decent, pitching is okay. Beyond that, I don't know all that much. Milwaukee Brewer, and then going into the NL Central, the Milwaukee friggin' Brewers, damn, and I mean damn. Outside of outside of the Los Angeles Dodgers, they're the best team in the NL, and it's not even close. They're the best team in the National League. Like, my God, the Brew Crew just looks so friggin' good. Christian Yelich, that whole crew, they look good, and I'm really, really excited to see what that team is. I mean, they're one of those hot. Like, they're not just hot; they are flamethrower hot right now. I'm Man, you want to talk about a good team? That is a good team, the Milwaukee Brewers. I Yeah, I'm pulling up their stats right now, and I am they are they are absolutely, like, they're on pace to take that division. I mean, like, batting averages so far, you have Bryce Terang hitting 409, you have Joey Ortiz hitting 333, you have Lockridge hitting 400, you have Yelich hitting 381, Mitchell hitting 286, Bowers 273, on base percentage 300, 500, 400, 438, 412, 308, 435, OPS 768, 850, 1227, 733, 421, 904, 769, 641, 959. My friggin' God. They're Again, it's 7 games into the season, 7, 8 games into the season, but oh my God. That Brewers team is just wow. I I can't say enough good stuff about that Brewers team. And I mean, their pitching is not that far off. I mean, their pitching, outside of a couple of guys. I mean, you have Mizorowski, 245 ERA, Kyle Harrison, 180 ERA, Brandon Woodruff, 360 ERA, 208 ERA from Chad Patrick. And then you have the relief pitching, 4.50 ERA from Trevor Miguel. That could be better. 59 ERA from Aaron Ashby, 0.0000. Jake Woodruff, 3 ERA. Like, wow. Again, I can't say enough good stuff about this team. And I mean, they're playing lights out baseball. They're playing big boy baseball. They're playing like they're coming into they're either gonna have you whoever team come into their ballpark and they're gonna kick your teeth in, or they're gonna go to your ballpark and kick your teeth in. Like that is a nasty, nasty team. I I can't say enough good stuff about the Brewers. Like they're in that I would say right now. LA Dodgers, Milwaukee Brewers, New York Yankees. That's my personal opinion. You can tell me to shove it where the sun don't shine. That's fine too. But damn. And then the Pittsburgh Pirates, they're looking relatively decent. And then you have the Cincinnati Reds who they are like I said, they're going to be a dark horse team. Like they are absolutely going to be a dark horse team. I mean, just pulling up their quick stats. You have Saul Stewart with a 474 batting average. Everybody else, they're kind of pretty pedestrian, I would say, as far as on the lower end of the batting averages right now. But they're they're going to be one that they're going to sneak up on some people. They're playing quiet, good baseball. I mean, their pitchers 309 ERA from Abbott, Burns 0 ERA, 360 ERA from Louder. Like they're all playing really good baseball. I'm I'm excited. They're going to be a team to watch. The Cincinnati Reds, don't let them sneak up on you. They've had a quietly good offseason. They got Nathaniel Lowe in free agency. They have Ellie freaking De La Cruz, who's probably top five, top three shortstops in the game. You have Spencer Steer, who he always seems to hit well. You have Saul Stewart, he hits with his hair on fire. They're going to be a fun team to watch. I can't say enough good things about the Cincinnati Reds. Chicago Cubs, they're starting 500 right now. They're they're not hot right now, but they're going to heat up. They are absolutely going to heat up. Then we got into we're in the NL West. You got the Dodgers. They're the hot team right now. They're the creme de la creme. They're the Ferrari. They're the Rolls Royce. They're your dad's Bentley, whatever. Their differential is a +6. I mean, the run differential is a +6. I mean, they're kind of on a roll, and I mean, they're going to be on a roll. They're the unstoppable freight train. I mean, how many players do I have to list off of them? Otani, Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy. They even added, God, who did they add? They added somebody last year, and it's just like, the rich get friggin' richer, man. They're one of those teams that they're gonna they're the big bad bullies and they're gonna come in and take your lunch money, man. They are, and I mean they've got Yamamoto, they've got Roki Sasaki. They are they are just an unfriggin' real team. The Los Angeles Dodgers, they're playing good baseball. They're playing fun baseball. Like they're lighting up the scoreboard. Can it be frustrating for people who, just Kyle Tucker, that's who it was. Yeah, they got friggin' Kyle Tucker this offseason. That and he was the one who I was thinking of that left the Phillies. But I mean, like let me just list off these names for you: Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Miguel Rojas, Mookie Betts, Max Muncy, Teoscar Hernandez, Andy Paez, Kyle Tucker, Shohei Ohtani, Alex Freeland. Like, my God, my God, do they just they are just like I said, they're the Ferrari, they're the Rolls Royce, they're your dad's Bentley type deal, man. They are. And I mean, you've got Yamamoto, you've got Glass now, you've got Otani, Roki Sasaki, you got Sheehan, Emmett Sheehan, which he had a bit of a rough start, but he'll probably bounce back. Their relief pitchers, uh you've got Vesa, you've got Dreyer, you've got Edwin Diaz as a closer. And I mean, Edwin freaking Diaz as a closer. Come on. Like, you want to talk about like just unreal baseball? It's the LA Dodgers. It is absolutely the LA Dodgers. You know, and this is coming from a small market person who does not like seeing the big markets win. But if you're really a baseball fan, you gotta love how the Dodgers are playing. Like they just played damn good baseball, and I'm really sorry. My apologies. Um, I'm really just really interested to see how they go. I mean, can they just be the, win 104 friggin' game type team? They absolutely can be, and I would not be surprised if they are. I'm honestly surprised, slightly surprised that they're sitting at 4-2. Like they really could be 6-0, absolutely. And then you have the San Francisco Giants who are playing competitive baseball. They just had to run into they had to run into the New York Yankees, and then I want to say it was the Dodgers right after that, or it was the Padres. My bad. They had the New York Yankees, who the Yankees just kind of took it to them, and then the Giants turned around and kind of took it to the Padres. Well, one game they absolutely took it to the Padres. So they're they're going to be an interesting team to watch. It's going to be a two-man fight, in my opinion, between San Francisco and the San Diego Padres for that final wild card spot. I I'm going to be very interested to see how this season plays out between those two. They're going to be the two teams to watch. Arizona's going to be quietly sneaky, I think. They got Nolan Arenado. They have Ketel Marte, Geraldo Perdomo. They've got the Arizona Diamondbacks have got a team over there as well. Um, I don't think quite as good to compete with the Giants and the Padres, but they're going to be one to quietly watch. But yeah, keep an eye on the Giants, man. The Padres are struggling a little bit. I'm gonna put them in the not hot team. And the Rockies, I think the Rockies are gonna stay in the not hot for who knows how long. Could they get into the hot? Absolutely. Um, they're in that. I wouldn't quite put them in the not hot. I would say I would more call them in the lukewarm category right now, where they're not freezing cold, i.e. the Athletics, but they're not, you know, lighting their hair on fire like the, Milwaukee Brewers, like the Braves, like all these other teams. But the Rockies are just intriguing because of, can they turn it around from what they were last year with 119 losses, and can they come forward and be a legitimate a more legitimate team? Can they do that season turnaround and really be a more competitive team? We'll have to see. But yeah, it's going to be fun to watch, and I hope you guys are along for the ride. I think that's going to wrap this episode up, and we had a great conversation. Kind of did a little Rockies overall, their first week coverage. We talked about the new ABS system, and then we talked about the just everybody in Major League Baseball. I know there's a couple of teams that I'll admit I don't know a whole lot about. I need to brush up on, see how they're doing, see how their players are playing. And then I may even come back to this next episode. We'll have to see. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. This it. My name is Nick. Please follow my Twitter. It'll be down in the bio. Please like and subscribe. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Baselines to Sidelines. Nick out.